CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. All right, folks, welcome to Friends of Nano. We are recording at SMRP number 33, and we are sitting here with Joe Anderson. He's with ReliabilityX. These are the fine folks that brought my recording rig, and today we're going to jump into a few things. They're kind of like softballs, but not really. So the first thing, Joe, welcome back to CMMS Radio, and thanks for jumping in here to the nanosphere, being part of the nano precise kind of whatever we want to call it.
And thanks for always having me, Greg. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
And there are no softballs with me. I'm too much of a deep thinker. So I over-explain, I think, at times, and something I need to work on. Well, hey, we're here, baby. Let's do it.
Your intentions are good, and if anybody doesn't see that, when people approach you folks with observations that you can't make yourself, you have to find that opportunity to take those observations in because they're sharing so that you can do something with it. So, Joe, the first thing I want to ask you about, we're going to get this out of the way. What's good about SMRP and SMRP this year, considering the fact that last year it had to be canceled due to inclement weather?
Well, SMRP is one of the only conferences that I've attended in the last few years. And so number one for me is being able to see everybody that I love, and getting to, see what's new with them, how they're doing, how life's treating them. And two, being able to share what we're doing and what's new with others in hopes that, we can help them become the best version of themselves as well. So it's kind of both ends of the spectrum. I enjoy it. It's a good time. And so, it's always good, like I said.
Yeah. Well, so for you, like me, first SMRP, never been there. Everybody says when you come in, and I'm finally at the conference, get to check it out. People are telling me it's bigger than they would have expected. Maybe that's because it's in Texas. They do everything big in Texas, right? But the other thing about it is I get to see everybody in action at a different conference. I've been to some of the other ones. They're maintenance conferences, but this is the maintenance conference when we talk about the Society of Maintenance and Reliability Professionals. Big organization. It's got a lot of chapters across the United States, and in fact now it's got international reach. So I'm curious if the thing I'm always wondering about at all these conferences, but this one in particular, is do we see things change? Or is it that we've got a certain group of people that are always helping with the same general topics because there's people coming up in the industry that need these learnings, and that doesn't almost like when you're a professor or an instructor at a college.
It's very cyclical. I think, for 3, 4, 5 years, we get a little stale kind of repeating things. Now, again, with advancements in technology and stuff, that always changes, right? So every year it's something new. Now it's, ride the AI fad, and we'll ride that into eternity at this point until people realize it didn't really help as much as they thought, and that, people still need to turn wrenches until they replace us with robots that can repair stuff and run machines and fully automate. But I've heard the word fully automate for my entire career, and I've never seen it. Now, not to say that it doesn't exist, because I know it does, but the amount of capital you have to spend to get it just doesn't make sense. So, outside of the technology piece, it's very cyclical. You'll have people that'll be at the same job 4 or 5 years. They're kind of learning and growing, and then they move on, and there's new people that come in, and they're just starting out on their journey. So it's a combination of both. I guess that's what keeps it interesting, is the fact that you can still talk about the basics and it doesn't fall on deaf ears, but you can also get into more of the advanced stuff, and there's a scene for that as well. So it's a little both.
It's almost like both are happening at the same time, and for like you, George, and a lot of the people that are at a conference like this, you take a lot of, I don't know if pride's the right word, but you enjoy teaching people, provided that they are listening, that they are not, walking around with deaf ears, and then you potentially get to hear about it. Have you ever, like at this conference, did you see anybody yet that you had helped in the past and now they're helping themselves and you get to hear about it? Or have you any stories
In
about that?
past conferences, I have, yeah. I mean, there's a large group of people that I still talk to this day that are continuing their journey. Sometimes they go to the conference, sometimes they don't. It's kind of hit or miss. It depends on what management is taking over, what their, the financial capabilities are of the organization, those types of things. But yeah, for sure. I mean, and we've even had our clients speak at conferences with us on stuff that we've done. So yeah, for sure.
I think that's important when it comes to the on stages and the speaking sessions. If you have clients that can talk to what they're actually doing, it has a lot more value than just showing somebody, I guess, a curriculum, a series of notes, some PowerPoints that, sure, there's useful things there, but with the client there with you or even presenting by themselves, now you get the substance of how what you've taught or brought into maybe their plant during a plant turnaround, and then you've left their maintenance team with some actual improvement to grab onto for themselves. They then share that with the people there. And I think that's what people really want to hear instead of just a lecture.
It is like, one, for me, I would rather other people talk about the things that we did for them than me. And I think a lot of us are that way. We don't like to brag. We feel like it's bragging almost, but you have to put the results out there. I mean, there's no other way around it. You can't go hide in a corner. So we have to get used to promoting it. But I would much rather have somebody else promoting it, the things that we did for us, plus seeing their growth. A lot of them are afraid to speak and get up and speak, and they haven't done it before. And so seeing them do that, I mean, it's a great thing. Plus, they're a great testimonial for the work that you've done. So, and then the most common question we get all the time is questions around how they overcame an issue. And I would much rather have them answer those questions than me. Even though I can, there's a million ways to overcome things, right? But how they did it specifically, I think, is the value piece that people are looking for in those discussions.
Yeah, well, a real coach, a leader, is going to want to have his player, so to speak. I'm just using it as a loose example, analogous maybe, where they talk about the principles and the things that they learned and that they worked on and they worked on and they worked on, and then how that really unfolded and how it kind of came to be part of their life, part of what they do, whether it's a football game or a basketball game or something like that, or the game of maintenance, which, I've said it a lot lately that it's a team sport and we all have individual contributions we can make. But when people teach us, guide us, support us, and show us, they would much rather hear how we applied that, because it starts to turn that corner. It's almost like when you learn something and you teach me or a class or you do a webinar about it and you're actually trying to convey what you're learning, it makes your learning stronger. But then...
Well, teaching has a 90% retention rate. So if you want to retain something, you teach it, right? Where hearing is about 7%-ish. You'll remember about 7% of what you hear, and that's after 30 days. Like, you won't even, it's like 3% after 30 days. So if you really want to ingrain it into your system, go teach it. It's phenomenal. I mean, my biggest thing is getting people up to teach, because now they're believing in it, not just what they did, but believing in themselves.
Yeah, and they're applying those theories, because I know for me, if I learn something and I get to talk about it and I get to maybe explain it to someone that doesn't know that stuff, I'm still wrestling with it, but I might be able to explain it in a couple of different ways. And I'm thinking more of the idea of classroom, but maintenance would be the same. Other things would be the same, where you're putting it
It's
into.
in everything. So a common misconception that people have is, well, it's already been said. So what else is there to say? That isn't. You're looking at it wrong. It's not that it hasn't already been said. It's that everybody wants to hear your perspective. Like there's 10 million leadership books out there,
Right.
and somebody's read some of them, right? But why would you read another leadership book and another leadership book? Because you want to hear another person's perspective. Because you're going to pick up different things or a different way of looking at things than just the same. If they only had one leadership book and that's the only one we could read, right? Like the reason we do it is because we want to hear their perspective on leadership. And so it's the wrong way of looking at things when people think, well, what can I contribute to the community, or what can I add, or this has already been talked about a million times. It's like, well, make it 1,000,001, because people want to hear your perspective. Humans are unique. Every one of us are unique. So we all have a different perspective on a similar principle, right? We should all plan and schedule work. Yep, I agree. That principle is true no matter where you are, but everybody has a different perspective.
And a different
And so,
experience. How did they get it
right.
to work?
Well, you had different scenarios, different contexts. There's all kinds of things that you can talk about
Yeah.
that somebody is going to get from it. And so, people beat themselves up a lot thinking that, well, why would I write an article, or why would I? It's like, people want to hear your perspective. You've got to understand that. Everything else has been said before. Majority of it's been said, unless it's a new technology that we don't know anything about or something. But when it comes to this space, reliability, maintenance, operations, there isn't much from a principal perspective that is going to change. What changes is the perspective that you're giving to it and bringing it to life.
Yeah. No, I think that's the benefit of a conference like this and this industry as a whole, and just about anything else. It's interesting for me as you're explaining that. I'm thinking about how many people are telling me a story, and I ask them, would you mind, hooking up with me sometime and maybe recording about that? Or, hey, would you like to talk about it? And it might become an episode. And they're like, oh, I don't think I have anything to offer. Or I've seen the guests you have. And I'm like, don't worry about that. Those people want you to get in here. This is so that you can share, like you just said, the perspective, the experience, because there's something there. So everybody's story matters in some way, shape, or form to somebody. And it
To
could
somebody.
offer. Yeah.
Whether it's one person or a million, it doesn't matter. What matters is you share your perspective.
So have you been hearing at this conference, I've noticed it this year, but at this conference a lot, there's a lot of people talking about this, take it how you want, this concept of this connected ecosystem, and how people look like they're starting to try to kind of work together. And I like that, but I also wonder, is that a real thing, or is it just another way to explain the same old thing? Within
I
reason.
don't know. I mean, my opinion will get me in trouble, but the world is a facade. When you understand that, everything politically sounds great. In reality, outside of them getting ready to gobble up another company, they really don't care about you, partnerships or collaboration. So, now I'm not saying all, but there's groups of us that do work together on certain things. But most people that are doing the same thing see each other as competitors, and they're not willing to work together and collaborate. So as long as you're not a competitor, for example, like we're partnering with Ludeca to do these workshops, right? But Ludeca sells tools, right? And then they have a service side where they go out and help with the implementation and usage of the tools. We do the culture side of things, right? So we're very collaborative because we complement each other, right? So, I mean, that's a benefit. But for competitors to say they're going to create an ecosystem and work together or whatever. That isn't true. Most of them are venture capitalist companies. They care about the bottom line, and at the end of the day, it's who can make the most profit.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of depends on who it is you're talking about and who it is that's saying that. But given the secular humanist society we live in today and that worldview of narcissism, I don't believe that to be true. But I don't know. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, and at least we got people thinking about it. I don't know if we're trying to be right. I think we're just trying to stir it up a little bit. It always sounds good.
It sounds good, right? On paper, it looks good, and it always sounds good.
And that's where I've spent a lot of time, where I think it's possible, and I wish it would really happen. I see shades of it here and there. Yeah.
Me too. I just know the reality of things. We're dealing with people.
Well, so couple last things on SMRP 2025. One, how have the conversations been going, like at the booth or throughout the conference when you're getting into dialogues? Are you seeing a good amount of traffic and people that are hungry to learn from you or talk to you and share about a problem they're having?
The workshop was really good. We had, I think, close to 60 by the end of it. People were basically standing. You know, there were chairs in there for them to sit down, but there weren't any seats left. And so that was really good. I mean, Ramesh he's a rock star, right? He always draws a crowd. George is a rock star. And so the combination of those two doing a workshop, I mean, I get it. A lot of good conversations there, a lot of good conversations after. The booth, you know, when we did have busy times, had a lot of good conversations. You know, but a lot of people were in sessions, right, in between and stuff. So a lot of lull time for us to go around and have other discussions with other solutioners and stuff. So it was good. And to do your podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The other thing is, I know you've been working on something, and before we came to conference, that was just in time out, where there's a community around actually learning. And I say this a lot about what I consider to be my close inner circle within this industry of people that are protectors, stewards, and guardians of what the industry is really supposed to be when it comes to not just, I've recently learned this, not just achieving the outcomes, but how you actually achieve those outcomes. And there's this concept of builder and destroyer, and then a little bit about that community where people can actually, you know, get in. And I think you're basically inviting people to participate in a real community where it can become 10,000 strong. Can you tell us a little bit about that and about the builder and the destroyer concept so that people generally understand it?
Honestly, that community is where my heart lies now. Seeing the state of this country, everything that we're going through, and realizing that it's on the backs of men and women that work with their hands every day to keep this thing going, and seeing the path that we're headed down, I really have a desire to give all I can to this community. And so my idea is that we create a 10,000 strong army of problem solvers, of doers, of people that go out and take action. I think that's missing. We have a lot of problem tellers. We have a lot of people that sit idle. And there's a lot of reasons for it. Some of it is fear. Some of it is they don't think it's their job. There's all these different things. Those aren't the type of people that I want to waste my time on, right? This mid-level, I guess, kind of elite class, if you want to call it that, that think if they bark, you know, somehow results will come to be. We know what we need to do day to day, and a lot of us deep down know what the right thing to do is. The problem is for whatever reason, perceived obstacles or true obstacles, we don't take action. And so my thing is I want to surround myself with builders. Like I say in my post, iron sharpens iron. We grow, we learn together. I know some things, you know some things. We can all learn from each other, um, and build ourselves stronger and a strong community that goes out and gets results by taking action. At the end of the day, there are no results without action. And for whatever reason, I'm seeing this trend of everybody thinking if they talk, they're going to get action. Talking doesn't get you anywhere. Politicians are known for it. They talk all the time and we never see results. It's talk, 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 and then it's bash, bash, talk, bash, right? Like, that doesn't get results. What are we doing to make the problems go away? And so trying to build a community of people that want to go solve problems, get the problems out of the way, get results, make life better, make your quality of life better, grow along the way, be able to take care of your family, do the things that you want to do. That's kind of the key of the community. And so, I kind of hammered it a lot last week with the builder and destroyer thing, but it's something that I've had to come to grips with myself. And I think a lot about why people don't take action to try to find things that motivate them. But what I think a lot of it is that people have become more in love with their own choices, and they know those choices aren't the right choices, and they want to wait for somebody else to come save them. The problem is no one's coming to save you. And so I had a gentleman propose to me. I'm a big guy and needed to get my health in order, and I've been working on it. Greg, you and I hold each other accountable every night, right?
Yep. 1,000 steps.
Working on my health. So he said, "Do you love your family?" I said, "Of course I love my family." He said, "Would you die for your family?" I said, "Of course I'd die for your family." He said, "Yeah, that's the easy part. Have you tried living for your family?" And that hit me hard, man. And I'm like, no, I've kind of sacrificed myself for my family. At least that was my thoughts, right? I let them have everything my entire life. I gave them everything. Like, I don't want anything. I don't really care. I could live, on the street with the sleeping bag and be just fine. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to have everything. But at the same time, my family wants me around. And they want me here. So am I doing the things to prove that I'm going to live for them, not just die for them? Right? And so that was a big thing for me. And then that's what started the builders and destroyers thing. Because I hear all the time, including my own excuses. Well, I don't have the discipline for that, and I don't have the discipline for this. The reality is we all have discipline. The question is are you using that discipline to build or destroy? I got obese because I had the discipline to stuff my gullet with 10,000 calories a day and do nothing about it. I was very disciplined at that. Come try to take my food, right? Like, I was very disciplined at that. But the question is was that discipline building or destroying me? And it was destroying me. And so I had to wrestle with it. And that's why I kind of went, off last week about it is we have choices to make in life. And I had a conversation with my father. I shared this with you. But my father's birthday was last Friday. Now, my father and I don't talk much since I moved out when I was 18. It's been over, 30 years. And, we've talked outside of me going to see them maybe once every 5 years. We've talked once or twice, like in 30 years. Once when my grandma died, I know he called me for that. And so his birthday was Friday, and then, like always, every year I just say, "Happy birthday, Pops," send him a text, And he texts me back, and he's like, are you home? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm home." Now, my dad's almost 70, I believe. 56, so Yeah, he's 68, I believe, this year. He's in poor health, a lot like I was, right? I mean, big guy, poor health, and he starts getting kind of soft on me, and I'm just like, well, I mean, you can, but it's too late. Like, you had 30 years to have a relationship with me, and now it's, this half-hearted effort, and but it's a life of regret, and I can see the burden on him. And what you realize in life is the heaviest burden a man can carry is the life of regret. And that life of regret is because we didn't take action on the things that we wanted to do or that we knew to do. And time passes you by quickly. And so what you got to understand is the life that you want, it's on the other side of the work that you're refusing to do. If that's the life you want, go do the work. If not, you're going to be carrying this burden in your end of days of regret. And I don't want that. And so I want to build this community of people that want to take action, dedicate as much time as I can to it. I don't have a lot, but I'm willing to give what I can, and try to build people so that they also don't live that life of regret. And they go out and do and accomplish and do more and be more and that type of stuff. So, that's really the premise of it, is me getting my act together, coming to the realization of things, and then sharing it with the world, and then doing what I can to support them and help them get better. And that's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah. And if they want to join that community, they can go to the ReliabilityX website?
Yeah, just go to the website, ReliabilityX.com. And I have a post just about every day or every other day with a landing page that has a free paper right now. If you sign up, you get a free guide on 7 steps to getting out of the reactive cycle of reactive maintenance. So you get that for free if you hit the landing page. If you go directly to the website, you just create a member login. Up in the corner, it'll say login. You click on that, create a login. And then there's a tab, and when you log in, you get access. As long as you're a part of the community, you get a free access to all of our Kahoot library, and we're going to keep adding more and more. We have thousands of them that we're working on right now, from technical skill trades all the way up to leadership, all everything in between. So we'll be adding more and more to it. All of our webinars are free. The webinar libraries, you get access to it for free. And we have an online forum. And so I've been kind of posting questions out there every now and then to try to get responses and stuff. And I know people are busy and they don't like to talk and stuff, but hopefully we can, get some action going on the forum. As well as, I think in January, we're going to pick like the last Thursday of the month in the evening around 7 p.m. We're just going to go live just for the community, answer any questions, kind of do all that type of stuff for now. And I'm sure we'll be adding more and more to it as we progress, as it grows. So the goal for us is just to nurture the community, surround ourselves with people that want to achieve, and you learn a lot from them. I'm looking forward to learning a lot from people.
Well,
and so,
I already signed up for it, and I've been in there a couple of times, and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow. And I'll keep talking about it and chiming in on LinkedIn so that people can take a look, jump in, get involved, and some good will come out of it. I can attest to that, not only through your friendship and knowing you these last few years, but George and what you guys are really all about. It's why I tell people you guys are the best in the biz, and I'm not just talking about business. I'm talking about intention. I'm talking about integrity, and that's what it's really all about. In a conference like SMRP, you sometimes have to search for those people. Not everybody is that. So it's awesome to, see you here again, spend time with you, and also have you on this special production, Friends of Nano, on CMMS Radio. Joe Anderson, ReliabilityX, my friend, thank you for being here with me and trying to help somebody think.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, as always.
Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.